Alice, are you there? Where are you? Reply to me!
Oh, Stephanie. Long time no see.
Never mind a long time no see. What do you think you're doing turning down my wedding invitation? You mean you're not coming?
Huh?
I invited you to my lavish wedding because I felt bad for you being a pitiful reject with no friends. And you had the nerve to send it back with the not attending box ticked? What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm busy that day.
It's my wedding day, for heaven's sake. You should be dropping all your plans and rushing at the chance to give me and my fiancé your blessing. Isn't that what best friends are for?
Best friends? Who?
Me and you, obviously. Did you forget all about how close we were in college? There was you living out your days on campus in introverted solitude with a life less exciting than a pile of rocks. When I, the queen of all extroverts, unparalleled in beauty and popularity, was so kind to shine a beam of hope on your tragic existence and became your friend.
You mean you just wanted me to hang out with you to make yourself look better? That hardly qualifies us as best friends. If anything, it just makes you a selfish narcissist. Anyway, Taylor is my best friend.
Huh? Taylor? You mean that filthy peasant with no parents who's so poor she couldn't even afford to buy lunch? That Taylor?
I'd prefer if you didn't talk about my friend that way.
Isn't it the truth, though, lol? Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to business. I want to give you the maid of honor speech at my wedding.
What?
Plus, you can sing and play piano, right? I heard you were pretty good. I want you to perform for everyone after your speech.
No, I made it very clear when I returned the invitation that I won't be attending. My schedule's full up.
Well, you should make room in it to attend your best friend's wedding.
Besides, why would you send me the invitation with less than a month to go until the ceremony? Even if I wanted to go, it'd be impossible on the timescale.
Well, make it possible then.
No, it's impossible because I have important business on that day I absolutely cannot get out of.
What? You mean there's something more important than my wedding?
That's exactly what I mean.
Go on then, what is it?
My boss's wedding.
Seriously? You'd miss your best friend's wedding to go to some random guy from work's wedding instead?
He's my boss, not some rando. And actually, he's a great guy who's always been there for me. I think it makes perfect sense to prioritize him over you.
Are you saying I wasn't there for you back in college? You probably wouldn't have even made it through without me.
The only thing I remember are your weird attempts to one-up me and put me down in front of everyone.
No.
Anyway, I can't help but feel that the only reason you sent me an invitation is because everyone else declined you. So you sent me one in an attempt to bolster the number, so that people who do attend don't realize everyone actually hates you. Sound accurate?
It's not like that at all.
I hit the bullseye, didn't I? I mean, come on, really? Best friends? Don't make me laugh. I'm done with this conversation. Good luck with your wedding.
I'm sorry to contact you out of the blue like this. Am I right in thinking this is Alice's number?
Maybe it is, but who's this?
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Richard Bigglesworth. I'm your best friend Stephanie's fiancé. I apologize again for contacting you so suddenly, but I found your number on Steph's phone.
I see. So, what could Stephanie's fiancé possibly want with me?
I'll just come straight out with it. Why don't you attend our wedding?
Huh?
Surely you should be there to give your best friend your blessing on the most important day of her life. She broke down in tears. She invited you because she wanted her closest friend to be there on the happiest day of her life. It's a day that only comes around once, you know. But she said you suddenly returned the invite with not attending checked.
I see. Like I told Stephanie, I have an urgent engagement on that day, so I can't come.
Yes, and I'm telling you that the way you've gone about this is just wrong. You've been downright inconsiderate and disrespectful, I tell you. Despite the fact you returned the invitation agreeing to give a speech and piano performance a whole 3 months ago. You have the nerve to pull out now all of a sudden, with less than a month left until the wedding day.
What? The invitation only came last week.
Excuse me?
Plus, I don't know if it was because she didn't know my address, but it was sent to my parents' house of all places. I immediately sent it back, making my intention not to attend crystal clear. And then Stephanie messaged me 2 days ago. She demanded that I attend no matter what, seemingly having no concern whatsoever for the fact that I already have plans of my own. That was also the first I'd heard of the speech and piano performance. Obviously, I told her that it was impossible to.
Wait, what? None of this makes sense.
It's exactly like I said. I didn't even know she was getting married until the invitation showed up at my parents' place last week.
Say what now? To think you call yourself a best friend. That's abhorrent.
Listen, Richard, you don't seem like a bad guy, so I'm going to explain this to you nicely. But me and Stephanie haven't spoke since college. It's been over 7 years. 7 years without so much as a single message exchanged between us. I haven't seen from her, heard from her, or even about her in all that time. Can you really call us best friends?
What? None of this adds up.
What's more, if I had to say one way or the other, far from being friends, I'd say we didn't actually get on that well at all.
Really? Forgive me for asking you this, but do you think there's any chance her sending you an invitation might have something to do with the fact so many people, particularly people she listed as close friends, are turning down the invites?
Are there really that many?
About 90% of the invites she sent were declined.
90%? Jeez. Does that mean, while being fully aware of the situation, you messaged me without harboring a single doubt as to why no one wants to associate with her?
You were listed number 1 as her closest friend, but she did say there was a chance you may have betrayed her.
Betrayed her? How?
Forgive me for dragging up the past here, Alice, but she told me the story of the time you and her were fighting over a certain boy in college. Eventually, that boy chose her over you, and they started dating. She explained how the two of you made peace a few days later, but she did say there was a hostile atmosphere for a little while because you were jealous. I did think that you holding a grudge against her for what happened back then made sense as a potential explanation for you not coming to the wedding.
If you want to hear my side of the story, it sounds like she's playing fast and loose with the facts of what actually happened to suit her ends and manipulate you.
I see. What exactly was Steph like during college?
I'd appreciate it if you went down that rabbit hole yourself. I hope you don't think I'm being rude, but I have no intention of talking at length about my personal affairs with someone I don't know.
I see. I understand. Sorry again for the inconvenience, and thank you for your time.
Alice, you scheming witch! What the hell did you say to him?
What do you want?
My fiancé broke off the engagement. You're behind this somehow. I know it. What did you do?
I see. Well, I wouldn't exactly go as far as saying I did something.
Why did he dump me then? Explain now! Your name was mentioned, Alice. I know you were involved. Don't think you're getting away with this.
Listen, Steph. Richard's the one who contacted me.
What? Why?
He messaged me out of the blue and started giving me a hard time about not being able to attend the wedding. All I did was explain my reasons why. I also set him straight on the facts that me and you aren't best friends, or even regular friends, or acquaintances, and that, in fact, I've never liked you. After that, I politely requested he did his own research and leave me alone.
What have you done? This is awful! Do you have any idea how much damage you've caused? You could have told a couple of white lies for me. What would have been the harm? Aren't we friends?
No. Do you have any idea how many people you made cry in my immediate surroundings back then?
What?
As far as I know, And I suspect there are probably more. Firstly, there's my best friend Taylor, my little sister, 2 of my classmates from college, plus 1 freshman and 1 senior, and finally me. That makes a grand total of 7. Every single one of us had our boyfriends stolen by you. When you were on a particularly rotten streak, you had 2 or 3 guys on the go simultaneously. Not only that, you strutted around campus with your head held high, boasting of your accomplishments to anyone who'd listen, and relentlessly mocking your victims. What was your favorite line again? Oh yeah,
This is just how life is when you're as beautiful as me.
the fact that you've just had your engagement broken off 7 years later suggests to me that you probably haven't changed your ways since becoming an adult and entering society.
It's not my fault guys want me. If anything, it's their fault for not leaving me alone.
Were you born completely devoid of reason?
What?
I remember how you used to strut around flirting with other guys even when you knew they have girlfriends. Or how you'd welcome the advances of other guys even when you already had a boyfriend or boyfriends. The worst part was, you actually seemed to take pleasure in wrecking other couples' relationships. You seem to be lacking the bare minimum of reason required to exist in human society, Stephanie.
Don't be so mean.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that you totally deserve to get dumped by your fiancé and have the engagement broken off on this occasion. At the very least, you should use this as an opportunity to reflect on your life up until now and ask yourself why it might be that people consistently seem to want nothing to do with you. Goodbye. Richard messaged me again a couple of days later, apologizing profusely for the hassle his ex-fiancée had caused me. Our messages made him suspect her, and as well as keeping a close eye on her day-to-day movements, he conducted a thorough background check. When he did, he stumbled on an intricate web of lies involving several affairs, some of which he's still in the process of exposing. As things stand, his investigations have unearthed a whopping 3 secret lovers. On top of breaking the engagement, he not only took Stephanie to court for compensation, but all 3 of her lovers too. Obviously, the compensation also included the cost of the now cancelled wedding ceremony and honeymoon. It turns out their own wedding was intended to be quite the extravagant affair, the total cost amounting to somewhere in the region of an unbelievable $70,000, including the damages owed for the 3 affairs. She now owes over $76,000, and not being partially well off financially, is now desperately trying to claw her way out of self-induced debt hell. I don't know whether it's because she's super poor now, but my best friend Taylor said she saw her disappearing into a crowd of people the other day, wearing ripped clothes that looked like they hadn't been washed in weeks, and clutching some half-eaten bread crust like her life depended on it.
Hey there, Jenny. How's it going? I was just curious about how the wedding planning is going.
Hey there, Mom. Still curious about the wedding, I see. I really do wish that you would just leave all the planning to me like I've asked you to over and over again.
Well, I'm just curious about how things are going since you seem to keep putting it off and I just don't know when it's supposed to happen. I mean, you do know that I already sent out the invitations to your wedding, don't you?
Oh, I know that very well. You sent them out without even asking me about it first, remember? I thought that you were just coming to our house to hang out, but then you started going on about how we were taking too long with our planning.
Well, it just didn't seem like things were moving at all, and I just wanted to try and help you out is all.
Well, it's fine now, I guess. There really isn't that much preparation to go now. The wedding should be happening with no postponements or problems or anything like that. But I would have really liked to have more control over the planning. Instead, you just kind of took a bunch of things into your own hands without checking with me first.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that there's finally been some movement with me having to do everything for you. Just make sure you hurry up and finish it already. Because if I even get a whiff that the planning isn't going so smoothly, I am going to go back over there and take things into my own hands like you said.
Yes, thank you for those inspiring words, Mom. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy that we respect my boundaries now that I'm an adult. But I just want you to know that I still only want close relatives there at my wedding, okay? I really don't want some huge affair or something. I really mean it that the simpler the ceremony is, the happier that I will be. I don't need something crazy. And I certainly don't have the time to plan some huge wedding bash or anything like that either. So I just want a small, quiet, peaceful ceremony. I'm already going to be stressed out enough on my wedding day as things are now.
Oh, I know how you feel, but I really thought that you would have gone for a much, much larger wedding. You know that was what I wanted for you. I don't get what's wrong with having a big wedding where you invite all your friends and your family to come and help you celebrate. That is what weddings are all about, after all. I mean, this is going to be the only time you ever get to do something like this. I just think that you should really go all out with it since it's such a big deal. Then again, you never know. Maybe this won't be the only time that you end up doing this after all.
And just what is that supposed to mean? You think that Tommy and I are going to get divorced or something? Why would you say that to your daughter who is getting ready to get married? What is the matter with you?
No, I wasn't saying that about you at all. I'm sorry, I very much wasn't thinking when I typed that. If anything, that comment would have been better directed at your older brother. I certainly wasn't talking about you and Tommy.
You mean him and Jessica? What do you think about those two? You really don't think that their marriage is going to last? Is that what you mean by that?
That's right. Jessica. Well, you know that she was married for your brother, don't you? And to think that he thought it would be a good idea to marry her.
I don't really get what the big deal is. I think it's great that they found each other. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I need you to tell something that Jessica told me about the wedding.
Oh, did Jessica tell you something about the wedding? What is it that she said to you?
Well, she told me that she wouldn't be able to make it, actually.
Wait, what? You mean that she's going to miss her own sister-in-law's wedding? What's the matter with her? Why would she do that?
That's what she said. She even sent back the invitation saying that she wouldn't be able to make it. But Eric is going to be able to be there, so that's good at least.
Well, I wonder what happened that only your brother is going to be able to make it. Did you ask Eric at all what Jessica would be doing?
I didn't, but I got the sense that it has something to do with Jessica's ex-husband. I didn't really want to pry any further than that, you know?
I really wonder what it could have been. Surely whatever is going on between the two of them, it can't be more important than being there for your wedding, right?
I don't know. I really don't know what's going on between them anyways. I really just hope more than anything that I didn't do anything to Jessica that made her not want to show up to the wedding. I really do want to try and get along with her, so I hope that we haven't already gotten off on the wrong foot.
That's right, it's good for you to get along with your sister-in-law. In fact, I really just don't get why she would miss this. It must be something huge going on. But what could it be that she needs to go and be there instead of with all of us at your wedding?
I know, I really do hope that everything is okay. But, of course, I don't want to force her to attend my wedding if she really can't make it. But I do really think it's unfortunate that I won't be able to see her. I think she is actually going to be taking her daughter as well, so I don't think either of them will be there.
I see. So neither of them are going to be at your wedding then? Just your brother, Eric? I really don't know what that woman is thinking. Doesn't she know that she's a part of this family now and should be putting us before anyone else?
I really don't think it's that big of a deal, Mom.
I mean, she married Eric with her own baggage from before, and I don't think we should hold that against her or Eric for that matter.
Well, of course I would never hold that against Eric, but I can still remember the shock that I felt when your brother told me that he was going to be marrying Jessica. I told him that he was better off without her and that he shouldn't be fooling around with her.
I really didn't get that vibe from Jessica at all. I thought she seemed like a nice, normal lady.
Well, that's because you don't know how to read people like I do. Even if people seem nice and normal on the surface, you can never ever know what's lurking just beneath. Hey, Jenny, are you there now? We have to talk right now. Something terrible has happened. Oh, it's just awful. You aren't going to believe it.
Mom, what do you mean? What happened? Are you okay?
Well, do you remember when you told me that Jessica wouldn't be able to be at your wedding?
Yeah, I remember telling you that she had something going on with her ex-husband or something like that, and that's why she wouldn't make it.
I know that you told me that, but I just saw Jessica and her daughter at the park together.
Oh, really? Did you actually see them, or did you just hear about this from someone?
Well, I happened to follow one of Jessica's friends online, and she posted a story of her and Jessica at the park.
Wait, hold on. You're friends with Jessica's friends, but not her? Sorry, just who is this person again, and how did you find them?
Oh, we don't have time to worry about that now. The point is that I saw those photos online. And here we thought that Jessica was running around too busy to be at your wedding, but now we know the truth. We can't let her get away with this. She has to pay.
But I don't understand. Maybe she just had plans with this woman before and couldn't miss them for some reason?
It doesn't matter if she made these plans a year ago. She is missing your wedding to go and play in the park. She lied about having some business with her ex-husband, and now she's out playing with this other woman at the park. We can't just let her get away with this, right?
Well, I agree that I would rather have her at my wedding, but there really isn't anything that we can do about that. Jessica is an adult and can make her own decisions, so...
Hold on a second, Ginny. Are you telling me that you're not mad at Jessica at all right now? Because I think this is just unacceptable, and I think that you should be furious about this.
But I'm really not. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal at all, if I can be honest with you.
So you really don't care at all that your sister-in-law is just blowing off your wedding, then?
Mom, please, just calm down. I am telling you that it doesn't bother me. Shouldn't that be enough for you to drop this?
Ginny, I'm so sorry. I knew that I should have kept your brother from marrying this awful woman. And I just know that if your dear old father was still with us today, that he would have never allowed any of this to happen.
Mom, please. I am trying to tell you that I don't have a problem with it and that I'm happy about how my wedding is going. I don't need you to be angry, much less angry on my behalf. Can't we just drop this and move on?
I just don't know what to say. How can someone be so horrible? It's unforgivable.
I mean, I'll admit that I am just a little bit shocked. I really was hoping that Jessica and I were going to be able to get along.
Well, I don't see how that is ever going to happen, given the way that she's blowing you off right now. You really ought to just keep your distance from her. You don't need her in your life anymore.
Sure, I mean, we didn't talk all that much to begin with, but I probably won't be reaching out to her anytime soon. But who knows? Maybe she just really needed to see this friend of hers for some reason. I'm not going to extend the olive branch, but I'm not going to blame Jessica for everything either.
What was your brother thinking marrying that woman? He should have someone younger and kinder and someone who hadn't been married already. It's clear to me now that Jessica is only with your brother because she's after his money.
Mom, I really don't think that's what is going on here at all, and I don't think we should be throwing around accusations like that.
It's not an accusation if you know it's true. And I knew it was true the moment that I met her when your brother brought her home. A woman like her trying to get with someone like him. I just knew that something had to be up, and now I'm positive that it's all about the money.
Are you sure about that? I mean, you know that Jessica was a single mom before that, right? She was having to work and take care of her kid and keep the house clean on top of that. But I think we both know that Eric isn't the kind of guy to make his wife do all of the work. And I think he really loves her for who she is. I think they make a good couple, actually. And I don't really want to keep talking about this topic anyways.
Okay, I understand. Just as long as we can both agree that you and I don't need to pay that horrible woman any mind.
Yeah, sure, Mom. Whatever you say. Anyways, I'm going to start making some food. Hey there, Jessica. Do you have a moment to chat with me really quick? I promise I won't try to take up too much of your time.
Oh, Ginny, what a pleasant surprise. Yes, I can talk. What's the matter?
Well, I just wanted to say that I got the gift that you and Eric sent me the other day. So thank you so much for that lovely stuffed animal. You know that I love collecting them. And I was so happy to see your daughter's cute drawing included as well. Aw. So please pass along my thanks to her too.
Of course, I'll be sure to do that. I know it really isn't much, so I'm very sorry about that.
No, you don't have anything to apologize for. I really liked the gifts. And the little bear even came in a wedding dress. Oh, so it really is perfect. Did you make it yourself?
You could tell, huh? Yeah, I did actually. I remember you saying how much you liked the toys that I made when I showed you before. So I just thought I'd make one special for you.
Wow! Well, that just makes it all the more special. I really do wish that you could have made it to the wedding, though. In fact, I actually heard the other day that you were out with a friend at a park or something. I was really worried that I might have done something to make you not like me, and that's why you didn't end up coming. But you went through the trouble of hand-making me a wedding present, so I guess I'm just a little confused is all.
But I thought you said that you didn't want any poor people at your wedding. You even included that on the wedding invitation. I mean, it was handwritten on my invitation clear as day. It just felt like you put that message on there for me and me alone to see.
Wait, what? You're telling me that on my wedding invitation I said that I didn't want any poor people?
That's right, I saw it written on the wedding invitation. You made yourself very clear. And anyways, I had always hoped that we could just get along, so I just didn't want to cause you any trouble or start drama. But now you're saying that you do wish I was at your wedding? I guess that makes me a little confused as well.
But I never wrote that on any of my wedding invitations. But now that you mention that, my mom came over and decided to send out all the invitations without asking me first. Maybe she has something to do with this. I mean, I really just don't want to even think about that being the truth, but I don't see how it could be any other way.
You really think that it could have been your mom? But I don't get it. Do you really think that she would do something like that? No offense, but if my mom wrote a message like that on my wedding invitation without telling me, well, I just don't know what I'd do. I'm so sorry, Jenny. This whole time I thought that I had done something to make you not like me. I really thought you just didn't want anything to do with me.
But I just don't see who could have done this if not my mom. Does my brother know about this message on the invitation?
Hey, he was so upset by it that he said he wasn't going to go either. But then I told him that it was your wedding and that he really shouldn't be missing it. I really didn't want to cause any kind of drama between you and your brother right before you got married. But we both agreed that it might be best if you and I kept some distance between ourselves.
But then, why did you send me this lovely handmade teddy bear?
Well, I was already working on it before we even got the invitation. I was actually thinking about throwing it all away when I saw what was written. But I figured that I had gone too far with it and that maybe you would turn around how you thought of me.
I see. Jessica, thank you so much for talking to me about this. I really did want you to be at my wedding, and I'm so sorry this mix-up happened.
No, I'm sorry too. You were always so nice to me in person, and I should have known that something was up when I got that invitation. I mean, I thought that it didn't seem like you at all, but then I started wondering how well I actually knew you and just ended up getting inside my own head about it.
Jessica, has my mom said anything to you that might make you think she did this?
Well, yes, she did actually. She said a few things to me, now that you mention it. Maybe more than a few things, but none of them good things.
Do you think you could tell me what it is that she told you? Because I feel like I need to know exactly what happened before I move ahead with this.
Oh, Jenny, are you there? I have something that I wanted to talk to you about. I just wanted to let you know that I was going to come over to your house this afternoon. My neighbor gave me a whole bunch of strawberries from her garden, and I just can't finish them all by myself. So make sure you eat them all up, okay?
Mom, don't bother coming over to our house, okay? You aren't welcome here.
Oh, don't worry, I won't be there long. I'm sure that the newlyweds want plenty of time to themselves, but I'm still your mother.
That isn't what I'm talking about. I am furious right now.
Are you still upset about Jessica? I know that what she did was awful, but we just need to put her behind us and move on.
No, Mom, I'm not mad at Jessica. I'm mad at you.
What do you mean? Why on earth are you mad at me?
Because you've been bullying Jessica this whole time without telling me.
Bullying her? I have done nothing of the sort. Just what do you even mean by that?
I am talking about what you wrote on my wedding invitation. You said that I didn't want any poor people showing up to my wedding, didn't you?
Well, just what is all this about?
Don't try and hide the truth from me, Mom. I already know that it's true. I went to Jessica's house and she even showed me the invitation she got, and the note was written in your handwriting.
But that isn't true! I didn't do it! Do you even have any proof of what you're saying?
I don't. But I remember you coming over and saying that you were going to take care of the invitations without even waiting for me to say yes. So, who else could have done this?
Well, what about Jessica? She could have done this herself to make me look bad. That has to be it. Don't you get it? She's trying to come between us.
I really don't think that's what's happening. I mean, why would she even do something like that?
It's because she's jealous of our family, that's why. That has to be it.
Oh, really? Because I talked to Jessica and she told me all about the horrible things that you've said to her. Ever since the day that Eric first brought her home.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
I just wish I had known about this sooner. You really did have me fooled. I will give you credit for that much.
But you don't understand. Jessica is a bad woman. She's only with your brother for his money.
Mom, we both love Eric, but you and I know that he doesn't even make enough money to be worth trying to marry him for it.
But it's because she's already been divorced. She was desperate for anyone to marry her.
You and I know that isn't true either. I've seen the way Jessica and Eric are together, and they are clearly in love. You have no idea what you're talking about.
So then what? You're just really going to take Jessica's side in this over your own mother? How could you do that to me?
I'm not believing either of you. I'm putting together the evidence and seeing what is most likely from that. And it's clear to me now that you were lying to me about Jessica just because you don't like her. Not only that, but you were trying to turn me against her as well.
But, well, it isn't my fault. I was just trying to protect my children.
Well, Eric and I have talked and we've both agreed that we want nothing to do with you. We want you out of our lives.
You mean that you two are just going to cut me out? Just like that? But that isn't fair. You can't do that.
We can and we will, and if you don't like it, you only have yourself to blame for this. You didn't just hurt Jessica by doing this. You destroyed your own children's trust in you.
Please don't do this. You can't do this to me. I'm your mother.
I'm afraid we've made our minds and nothing is going to change that. After that, Eric and I agreed to block our mom on everything. Eric and Jessica even went out and found a new place to live. Since I had just gotten married as well, I explained all of this to my husband, and he agreed that it was a good chance to move away ourselves. I really just didn't see my mom being so manipulative, but I knew that the Jessica my mom was telling me about wasn't the woman that I had met. It wasn't long after that, however, that rumors started to fly around our family about why my mom's children had moved so far away from her. Soon, everyone in our family knew the truth about my mom, and they all stopped talking to her one by one. My mom has been all alone ever since then. Meanwhile, Jessica and Eric have been living happy and quiet lives together. Tommy and I didn't move very far from them, and we still see each other very often. Jessica and I don't really talk about my mom that much, but we both laugh about how we both thought that the other person hated us. I'm happy that I've gotten so close with my sister-in-law. Meanwhile, my husband and I have been settling into the married life quite well. Of course, a lot had to change after we got married, and then again with the move. We both found new jobs, though, and have been enjoying our new lives far away from my mom. I sometimes think about reaching out and seeing how she is doing, since she seems to be all alone now. But then I'll unblock her and see some of the crazy things that she is posting about nowadays, and I understand that it's just wise to avoid her at all costs now. It's sad to realize that your mother wasn't the person that you thought she was. But it's also important to understand that new family can be found anywhere. And sometimes the people who you thought were your family don't always have to be. It's been a few months since we all moved away, however, and now Tommy and I are expecting a child on the way. We're so excited for them to meet their cousin, Jessica's daughter. Which reminds me, Eric and Jessica are expecting their own child as well. It really just goes to show that family can happen where there's love and trust. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.